Yo, what's up, family? Before we start the video, please give a like, subscribe, and share to any and everyone that you can. Just for you out there a little bit more. With that being said, let's get right into the video. The Boston Celtics beat the Minnesota Timberwolves 107-105 last night in TD Garden. Even though it wasn't a super high-scoring game, good basketball was being played. So let's get into the film. All right, how y'all doing? I hope y'all doing good. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not, make sure you take your shoes off before you come to the house. This was a really good game, as all Celtics T-Wolf games have been these past couple of years. This game did not go to overtime like the two did last year, but it was still a really good game, and a lot of good basketball was being played, like I said in the intro. So on the first play, something really interesting happened. And in the T-Wolves last game, they lost to the Toronto Raptors in Toronto, right? The play that highlighted that game, Rudy Gobert sealing Scotty Barnes basically under the rim. And Julius Randle saw him, he didn't pass the ball to him. Rudy Gobert seemed to be upset that he didn't pass him the ball, so he took his time walking out of the paint and got a 3 seconds call. And the first play of the game against us, Rudy Gobert gets a ducking opportunity against Jason Tatum, and he fumbles the ball. Alright, so here on this clip, it just shows how many things Tatum does. Of course, he's been guarding the centers in these past couple of games, so that means he's now our backline communicator. And it just shows how many things that Tatum does. He has to guard 1 through 5 regularly, but especially when he's guarding these centers in these pick and rolls and try to take away lobs and the roll passes. And then he has to be the backline communicator because he's the guy that's seeing everything, right? So he has to help our perimeter players and stuff like that. So I'm gonna play this clip just to let y'all hear it.
Against Anthony Edwards. DiVincenzo the drive. McDaniels gets it back to him. DiVincenzo.
So as the T-Wolves penetrate, not Derrick White, Jrue Holiday steps up, pass goes to the corner, and I believe Derrick White's like, all right, Al Horford is here. He's just gonna back up into Julius Randle. I'm gonna just go to the corner. Again, I agree with this because I would rather Derrick White run this long closeout to the corner than my 38-year-old center. But they both end up going, right? And then as you can see, Tatum is talking, but you heard it. He's screaming Al Horford's name. Al Horford comes back, marks Rudy Gobert right there. He's like, he's gonna be over there. Al Horford steps back, and this leads to a Jaylen Brown block. All right, so we got Tatum as a screener, forcing some rotation. Derrick White gets it to him in a short roll. Will pass led him all the way to the paint. But I love the angle at which Tatum gets out of the screen, right? So he sets it, of course, on the inside of Anthony Edwards, and then he's gonna set it. Then he's gonna turn and have his back towards Anthony Edwards. This opens up the pass lane here for Tatum in a short roll. The pass was just led to the basket, and Tatum being this close to the basket, of course, draws Rudy Gobert out from Al Horford. This means the Celtics have you in rotation, and Jaylen Brown was hot from 3 to start. And directly after that shot, I believe the T-Wolves just threw the ball away here. I didn't see anybody actually take the ball from them, but Jaylen Brown's going to have a pull-up for his third 3. All right, so Brown has 3 threes to this point, but I love that the Celtics didn't just hand him the ball in this play and say, go shoot a 3 because you're hot, right? They ran in action for him. They ran Al Horford, sets a pin. What? Okay, 1. Jaylen Brown is 3 for 3 in this game, in the first, 3 minutes of this game. What is Julius Randle doing? What is he doing? Now, I heard the T-Wolves announcers telling me something. He's 4 for 17 from this area. It's Jaylen Brown. That's cool. If you come into the game and it's like, hey, we'll give Jaylen Brown these 3s, which is not smart. I don't care what the percentages say. He's a multiple-time All-Star, All-NBA type player. Cool. If you're going to do that, that's fine. But he has 3 threes to start the game off. What is Julius Randle doing? What is he doing? But I like that they still ran in action for Jaylen Brown, even though he was hot. But then he 4 for 4. But I mean, hey man, that's how you know somebody really hot. So he gets a steal here, right? He gets a 3, plays defense, and this is just a heat check of a lifetime. And there's something really funny after the shot. I don't know if y'all saw this, but Al Horford, you know he has a thing for opposing coaches calling timeouts. After Jaylen Brown hits this 3, he's gonna stare at Chris Finch, expecting him to call timeout. All right, so the Wolves did go at Al Horford a little bit in this game, especially late in that fourth quarter. Celtics had to make an adjustment, but Al Horford's 38 years old. He's going to hold his own too on some plays, of course, because he's just such a good defensive player. But when you guard a guy like Anthony Edwards and guys that's really quick, like Rob Dillingham and stuff like that, I don't expect Al Horford to stay with these guys a lot of times. But of course, you know I gotta show my Dominican family, man, holding up well against Anthony Edwards. So we got 3 screens until they finally get out Horford. You got a screen from Naz Reid, they switched to Jrue Holiday. You got a ghost screen from Jaden McDaniels, and then the actual screen, Al Horford onto Anthony Edwards. He does a nice job here, holding up well forcing a long two by Anthony Edwards, and he airballs it. But Rudy Gobert, right? In this game, he was very solid. He had 20 rebounds, which I not expect him, but he had 20 rebounds. He had a lot of offensive rebounds. He was very active in this game. And as a closest defender, the Celtics had trouble with Rudy Gobert. Now, not all of those shots he actually contested. There were a lot of shots, but I think Tatum shot 3 for 7 on him. Half of those shots, Tatum got an open look, but he was just the closest guy there, right? So it's sometimes where he's actually affecting the shot, and sometimes he's not, right? But Rudy Gobert overall was very solid in this game. And in transition, a lot of cross matches usually happen. You have Jaden McDaniels telling his center to go up top with Sam Hauser or Peyton Pritchard. Rudy Gobert's like, nah, you get up, let me get down, and this pays dividends. As you see, Sam Hauser is preparing to set a pin down screen for Peyton Pritchard, but he's in the middle of Anthony Edwards and Jaden McDaniels. So he just very nice slip by Sam Hauser, but Rudy Gobert comes over there and changes the shot. And then we got some more good defense in transition. Jaylen Brown getting back, forcing the ball out of bounds. All right, so Rob Dillingham is in the game for the T-Wolves, and that means food for the Celtics, right? But Rob did a really good job fighting in this game. The Wolves switch everything, right? They like to switch everything. The only person they did not switch in this game was Rob. He was hedging pretty hard, and he was fighting hard even when he got like switches on to the Jays. But on this right here, if teams are hedging you, there's two things that have to happen. You either have to set this screen well enough that this guy cannot get back in time, so they have to switch, or if he tries to get back, it's just a really long roll back to the player that he was guarding. Or the handler has to drag this dribble out as far as he can, so it makes the roll back to this guy's original man long. So on this play, both things happen. Peyton sets a very good screen. Nickeil Alexander-Walker has a spin off it, and Jaylen Brown also gets away from Nickeil Alexander-Walker by going far. Rob Dillingham to actually check Jaylen Brown for a couple of seconds, and then for Nickeil Alexander-Walker to come back. That is too much space for Peyton Pritchard. He knocks down 3. And again, every time Rob Dillingham was a part of a pick and roll, the Wolves were hedging. It was either him hedging and get back to his man, or his teammate hedging so he can get back to his man, right? But two things have to happen if the defense is hedging, right? Again, the screener has to set a good enough screen so they have to switch it, or he can slip this knowing that a hedge is coming to cause some confusion, or the handler has to immediately drag the dribble out far enough so that they have to switch for a couple seconds as the other guy tries to get back to his matchup. We saw that on the last play where Rob Dillingham had to check Jaylen Brown for like a second or two. Nickeil Alexander-Walker tried to come back to Jaylen Brown, and Pritchard was wide open. So here we got Tatum setting the screen. He sets a good enough screen to where Rob Dillingham just has to use his basketball instincts, and it's like, I can't just leave Jason Tatum. So he goes Jason Tatum, right? We get the pass up, and this is you're done. The Celtics get you into rotation. Rob Dillingham against Jason Tatum with 2 feet in the paint, and he passes out Xavier Tillman, passes out to Peyton Pritchard, and this is important, right? He could have just immediately swung this to Sam Hauser, and they could have gave it to Derrick White, and this could have been a 3. But something important that Pritchard does when this play is he pump fakes and then drives, right? If he just immediately passes this, Sam Hauser probably doesn't get this shot off. Again, he'll probably still pass to Derrick White, which is a great option too. But if Pritchard passes it immediately, Josh Minot can close right here, right? So he does a nice job pump faking and driving, drawing Minot away from Sam Hauser before he passes it. Then he passes it for a 3. And this is an example of the T-Wolves doing a really good job of hedging, right? So Tatum hits Rob Dillingham, but he doesn't hold the screen for long enough, so he's able to get back. And the most important thing here is Jaden McDaniels forces Peyton Pritchard to stop his movement so Rob Dillingham can get back. Either the handler has to immediately drag the dribble out far enough, or this screen has to be held for long enough, so they have to switch it. Neither of those things happen, so Rob Dillingham is able to get back. So they try it again as Tatum as a handler and Pritchard as a screener. Right here, Pritchard sets the screen. He only gets a little chunk of Jaden McDaniels. Rob Dillingham forces Jason Tatum to stop for a second. They're able to get back. Now, even though they did a perfect job twice on these pick and rolls, there's 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Tatum penetration this throws everything into haywire. Now there's 3 people in the paint. Now this is smarter, Julius Randle. If this was Jaylen Brown, you shouldn't be right here. But this is Xavier Tillman. I don't think he's hit a 3 all year. I'm pretty sure he has, but it's probably only 1. This is the Celtics still like get a foul in possession because Tatum drove the ball, but that was a good job by the T-Wolves in their hedging pick and roll defense. All right, so this one's a little bit more grainier because they were talking to Ray Allen during this play, and it was like the screen was cropped to show Ray in the play. So I just cropped it to show the whole play. So it's a little bit grainier. Sorry for that. But we do have ram action here to get Rudy Gobert on a Jason Tatum. And I love when the Celtics did this, right? When the Celtics did the ram action with Al Horford and Rudy Gobert was checking it, right? Horford would come to one side but screen on the other side. So he's coming off to Jaden McDaniels' left side, right? But he's going to run to the right side to force Gobert to have to go over to that side. There's going to be another play later on in this game where Gobert doesn't even make it out there, but just forcing Gobert to run further than he has to is a good thing for the Celtics. And I really like this play by the Celtics. We got them playing defense on Anthony Edwards. He just misses a good layup attempt. But then we got a transition steal by Jaylen Brown down to DiVincenzo. DiVincenzo is a good defender in this league. He's a really good defender in this league, but he's just too small for Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Even good defenders like Nickeil Alexander-Walker is going to get picked on at the end of this game, and he got subbed out for it. Even a guy like Dante DiVincenzo, when we can take advantage of plus defenders, it's just such an advantage. You've seen many examples of this, but this just encapsulates how when Jason Tatum drives with intention and conviction, how the defense reacts. So Tatum's gonna turn up right here for a little bit and sprint right there. As he does that, watch Rudy Gobert. He's jogging for a second. Then as Tatum does that, he picks up his speed, right? Now Tatum got 3 people in the paint with him. Al Horford and Jaylen Brown are wide open. Got the hockey assist to Jaylen Brown. And this pocket of the third quarter was ruled by Derrick White. It's such a luxury when your 4th best player is able to take over stretches of a basketball game and extend your lead. So here, he hits a 3 on a possession where Dante DiVincenzo played great defense, kind of just blew up the whole possession. But Derrick White is a bailout king for the Celtics here. Then he reads the play, gets a steal. Then we're going to get it out to Jrue Holiday. He's going to hand off to Tatum and effectively takes out 2 Wolves on this play, leading to a pull-up 3. Man, the more times I watch this shit, man, it just gets more and more improper. Watching Nickeil Alexander-Walker, right? He catches Derrick White off guard, which does not happen often. He thinks that Nickeil just coming here, coming to the dunker spot. So he cuts in and Derrick White like lollygags for a second. Derrick White blocked this shot. He blocked this shot. Like, look how far he is. From the moment he realizes right there, this should be a 3-point shot. But what does Derrick White do? He haul asses, avoids the Gobert screen, and bats the ball out. The reaction time and the haul ass, the speed at which he gets back to Nickeil Alexander-Walker is just crazy. All right, so here's what I talked about earlier, where the Celtics do this ram action, and with Al Horford as the screener, he's gonna run up to one side like he's gonna set that screen, but goes to the far side, so Rudy Gobert has to travel more miles. So here, at the ram action, of course, Al Horford is about to run up to the right side of Nickeil Alexander-Walker, but then goes to the far side, sets the screen on the left, so Rudy Gobert has to get all the way out over there. He doesn't do it in time, and then he's stuck in between trying to help on the drive and checking Al Horford on the pop, who has hit about 3 threes to this point. He's stuck in the middle, got some indecision. Tatum drives to the basket on Alexander Walker. Again, some good stuff by the T-Wolves. Again, the 2 things that have to happen. Sam Hauser does not get enough of Nickeil Alexander Walker, and Pritchard is like walking through the pick and roll as if he wants him to switch back. If he would have just like ran, like set the screen and then run over here, Dillingham probably has to switch. But that probably was not the play. This probably was the play here when they set the 2 screens for Payne Pritchard. But then Rob Dillingham hedges right there, does a nice job getting back, then that legal screen by Tatum. All right, so the Celtics had a tough time closing quarters in this game. In the second quarter, they were up 55-43 with 3:10 left. They were on an 8-0 run, and then the T-Wolves got within 3. They got their own 9-0 run, and it was 55-52 at halftime. Here, it was 79-60. Rob Dillingham checked in when it was 75-60. They scored 4 points, got up to 19, and then Anthony Edwards in these transition threes cut the lead down like really quickly. Here's the first one. And then here Naz Reid is going to come up, try to set the screen. And just the threat of Anthony Edwards as a driver, coupled with his improvement in the 3-point area in makes and volume, is just incredible. But Tillman FC, we did get some Xavier Tillman in this game. No Kata, no Cornette, which was kind of surprising. You know what I'm saying? Kata has had a bad stretch of games, and I thought Cornette was definitely going to get some time in this game. Not a lot of time, but I thought he was going to check in this game. He did not. Joe Mazzulla chose to ride with Xavier Tillman, and he was used correctly in this game. You don't have him play the 4 on offense. He can play the power forward, right? Especially on defense. On offense, you having Tillman in the corners and allowing the defense to help off him and force him to hit shots, especially when he's been cold shooting the ball from everywhere this season, is not a good idea. So he can play the 4. He can be on the floor with an Al Horford, with an Amias Cater, with a Luke Cornette, but he has to be the screener, right? He has to be the one setting the screens. He's a big body, he's strong, and he knows how to set these screens. So here, got the screen and then a curl cut for Payton Pritchard and the and 1. All right, so here the T-Wolves get the Celtics a taste of their own medicine, that they're going to go to stagger twirl action here. So we got the first screen. It looks like Nickeil Alexander-Walker was going to come off, but then he twirls it, just gets in front of Jaylen Brown, taking away 2 Celtics for a tick, and Naz Reid for 3. And something that has been a big time part of the Celtics offense and how they get second chance opportunities. And some of those threes are the corner crashes. Sam Hauser had 5 points in this game, but he had 5 rebounds. 3 of them were offensive, and a lot of them were off of his effort, off of the corner crashes. Here he gets to put back. All right, so here Rob Dillingham, he went on his own little 5-0 run to bring the Timberwolves in within 5, and then they started attacking Al Horford a lot more in this fourth quarter. Here he gets a switch and gets a layup. And here we got another pick and roll with Rob Dillingham involved, and Peyton Pritchard sets a good screen so that Jay McDaniels can't get back in time. Jaylen Brown also doesn't let his momentum stop enough for him to hedge and for Jay McDaniels to get back, but it was a good screen by Peyton Pritchard that forced all that, and Jaylen Brown gets the drive. All right, so here we got some T-Wolves Chicago action. They got the handoff, and watch this. This is how you know it was like they were really trying to get Al Horford on Anthony Edwards. He's checking to kill Alexander Walker, right? Alexander Walker is gonna cut, and watch the reaction of Anthony Edwards. He's like, nah, come bring your ass back over here. Let's set this screen. And then this was just them going to Al Horford. So this is the adjustment, right? Horford got scored on a couple times in this fourth quarter, right? We know Al Horford is a great defender. Just sometimes, well, not sometimes, but him having to guard Anthony Edwards and guys like Rob Dillingham, who are just obviously quicker than him, is a recipe for disaster for a lot of centers in this league. Al Horford held up sometimes, of course, but other times he's not going to hold up. So this is the adjustment, right? You see the pick coming, and you just pre-switch it, right? Jaylen Brown's like, nah, I'm going to go do that. And then you see Naz Reid was going to come set the screen, but Anthony Edwards just ends up driving. But that is the adjustment that the Celtics made. And again, the Celtics being able to take advantage of plus defenders. Nickeil Alexander-Walker is a plus defender. DiVincenzo is a plus defender. But you're just not big enough, and you're not strong enough to check Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. Here he gets the post-up position, and then 1. So this time we got Jaylen Brown, the V-cut, gets him open for the ball. Does a nice job taking Alexander Walker right to the block. And he does a nice job using the ball to force Gobert to play in the middle and get out just a little bit more on Al Horford, and the turnaround is good. And those 2 plays were enough for Chris Finch to sub out Nickeil Alexander Walker for J.D. McDaniels. And this, just a very important play by Derrick White. Up to 125 left. He saves the ball from going out of bounds, gets the Celtics, keeps the Celtics possession, and then what does he do? Get out to Drew Holiday and Jaylen Brown with a no, yes type of shot. But that is the video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, subscribe, and share it in everyone that you can. Just get out there a little bit more. I will see you guys in the next video. This is Nick. Peace.